Good morning and welcome. My name is Caitlin Mixter and I serve as Executive Vice President at Reactivate. On behalf of Reactivate and ComEd, I welcome you to Reactivate's Community Solar Project, Verdine, the 100th Community Solar Project in Northern Illinois. We are pleased to have members of the press, members of the community, local nonprofit partners, local and state representatives, and our staff here today. We are honored that Senator Napoleon Harris's Chief of Staff, Carla Burris, has joined us here this morning. You are all our partners in a just and equitable energy transition here in Illinois. This morning, you will hear prepared remarks from Utopia Hill, CEO of Reactivate, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, and Gil Quinones, CEO of ComEd. Please hold all questions during the prepared remarks. There will be time for questions at the very end of the session after we take photos on the observation deck. And without further ado, it is my privilege to introduce the CEO of Reactivate, Utopia Hill.
Hi, good morning, everyone. When we launched Reactivate, we were intentional to ensure that we are a mission-first business. And that mission is to develop, own, and operate renewable energy projects to improve the lives of people in low to moderate income and energy transition communities across the country. At Reactivate, we believe renewable energy should benefit everyone. For us, that means building renewable energy projects from community solar, which we're here to celebrate today, commercial and industrial solar projects, and energy storage projects within environmental justice communities and communities retiring fossil fuel assets. We work to ensure that there are measurable and impactful benefits for the communities where our projects are located. And we are overjoyed to bring this community solar project to the environmental justice community of Chicago Heights, and there are more to come. This project implements many of the goals of the Illinois Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, with the inclusion of prevailing wages, minority and women-owned business contracting, workforce training and job opportunities, and direct bill savings to hardworking Illinois families. No family should have to decide between paying their electric bill versus covering life's necessities. And we are hopeful that this project can help lessen that energy burden. Our Verdine Solar Project is a 2-megawatt project with over 5,000 solar panels on approximately 20 acres. This project will serve over 650 low to moderate income households from the nearby communities. And across the state of Illinois, where we have 6 projects currently under construction, they will serve over 3,000 majority LMI households, as well as nonprofits and environmental justice communities. This project was built by the hands of local union members and apprentices. Our Building Equity and Solar Training Program, which is our workforce training program, included partners like the Community Economic Development Association, who worked with us to ensure we could create career opportunities in this rapidly growing sector. Our general contractor, Pepper Construction, worked in collaboration with our team to ensure millions of dollars worth of contracts were issued to minority and women-owned businesses. These efforts help to advance the economic prosperity of the communities we seek to serve. We are also proud to incorporate pollinators and native species when we have our spring planting at our project sites to help to incorporate a healthy environmental ecosystem. We are elated that our project is the 100th community solar project planned on ComEd's distribution system. Our team works closely with their team as we progress towards the energization, and I'd like to thank ComEd and Gil for their dedication and commitment to a reliable, resilient, and sustainable grid. I'd also like to thank Governor Pritzker and many of the individuals who worked tirelessly to bring the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act to fruition. The seeds you have sown are bearing the fruit of your efforts and inspiring policymakers across the country. We also applaud Governor Pritzker for the priority that he is placing on creating an equitable, clean energy future in Illinois. We share his dedication to renewable energy for all. And with that, I would like to introduce Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Well, thank you so much to Utopia. Thank you to all of you for being here today. It's a very exciting day. I'm thrilled to be here in Chicago Heights alongside ComEd CEO Gil Quinones, the whole Reactivate team, County Commissioner Monica Gordon, and so many others who've helped to make this possible. I want to recognize the men and women of organized labor, the workers who bring the high-skilled effort to build what is going to be a truly important and transformative project. This, of course, is an effort to celebrate the 100th community solar site in Northern Illinois. It's truly an amazing development. If you think about where we were just a few years ago talking about solar, it's a whole new day. And this is just one of many examples of how that's being realized. Since day one as governor, it's been my mission to advance clean energy and to add new energy sources throughout our state, ushering in a new era of environmental justice and sustainability for every community, whether you're talking about Adams County or Alexander County or Sangamon County or right here in Cook County. It's a big state, and we are transforming it all. That's why in 2021, I enacted the landmark Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, making Illinois the first state in the Midwest to commit to producing 100% clean energy by 2050. In addition to investing over $80 million annually to educate and train renewable energy workers, CEJA has also created nearly 9,800 megawatts of new solar capacity and expanded the Illinois Solar for All program, giving moderate income customers access to solar power projects. With 5,200 solar panels across the 20 acres here, Reactivate's Verdine Community Solar Project is one of the first of its kind in Cook County, allowing Chicago Heights families to take part in our clean energy revolution, all while saving money on their monthly ComEd energy bills. This is exactly the kind of partnership that benefits our communities, our environment, and our economy all in one. And I'm so thankful for ComEd and Reactivate's leadership and collaboration to make our vision a reality. And we're just getting started. Reactivate has 5 more community solar projects underway, one in each of Chicago Heights and Ford Heights, Monee, Granite City, and Rockford. Together, these 6 projects will generate 10.5 megawatts of clean energy, serving the energy needs of 3,000 homes, the majority of which are low to moderate income households. That's real progress benefiting families and reducing carbon emissions. And with more than 50,000 residential rooftop solar systems and 1,355 commercial and industrial solar projects connected to the ComEd grid, solar energy has never been more popular in Northern Illinois. The progress that we've made in just a few years' time is truly remarkable. And there's so much more to come. I want to congratulate ComEd and Reactivate, all the people who've worked on this project. This is very exciting for all of us, and we'll be back together, no doubt, in the near future and many times over with projects that are coming online. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO of ComEd, Gil Quinones. Gil?
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Great to be with you. At ComEd, we're proud of the Community Solar Program. It allows all our customers to enjoy the benefits of clean solar energy without having to install solar panels on their own. By subscribing to a solar farm like the one behind us, those customers can earn credits on their bills for the portion of energy generated by the project. In this case, an average ComEd customer paying around $90 a month on their electric bill can save up to, by the way, originally I had it 20% and Utopia corrected me, up to 50% on their electric bill. So if you have a $90 Average residential bill, you cut it in half, you're down to $45 per month. For low to middle income families, those savings add up and can make a world of a difference. This is a powerful demonstration. It demonstrates the power of leadership and how policy can bring even the most ambitious goals within reach. The governor's vision for a cleaner, more equitable future took shape in the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. A key aspect of CEJA was to increase the Illinois Solar for All program. This was a critical step in the journey toward making good on CEJA's goal of 40% renewables power in Illinois by 2030. It also demonstrates that the benefits of clean energy and clean air can flow more equitably across our communities. Residents who in the past have felt the burden of energy inequalities now have the opportunity to enjoy power at lower cost with fewer or even zero carbon emissions. But mostly, this project is a demonstration of partnership and collaboration. We were very proud to work with Reactivate on this project, and we appreciate their dedication to community solar as a means for achieving environmental goals and reducing electrical bills for consumers. Thank you to Utopia and her team at Reactivate and our team at ComEd for your collaboration and hard work. 100 is a big number, and we're only just getting started, as the governor just said. It won't be long now before we hit 150, 200, and beyond, because community solar is growing at 20% annually and accelerating in our service territory. This is what's possible when you have a governor who inspires a shared vision and get things done. This is what's possible when there's alignment at the state and local level, along with support from a utility like ComEd and developers like Reactivate. Together, we are meeting the moment. You've heard the expression, make hay while the sun shines. Let's build community solar while the sun shines on our partnership. Because when we build community solar, we strengthen environmental justice, we enable a just transition, and we secure a more sustainable future. Let's keep the momentum going. Thank you. And now, I want my privilege to introduce Commissioner Gordon.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My remarks will be brief, but as the Cook County Commissioner and a very proud resident of Chicago Heights, I am here to celebrate the work that you all have done. As I stand here with all the energy soldiers here, I want to give special thanks to our governor, who had a vision. And I remember 2018, he vowed to reach clean energy goals. And also I would like to thank the ComEd CEO, Gil Quinones, as well as Utopia Hill. What today means in Chicago Heights, as we celebrate the 100th community solar project, it means we're embracing environmental justice. We're embracing economic justice. By lowering citizens and residents' bills, at the same time in meeting our clean energy goals, we are advancing to the future where our world, our globe is a safer place. Our globe is clean, our energy is clean. So I just want to commend everyone here who did a great job. And I also want to again commend my governor for disrupting the energy industry and making sure that we all have equitable energy and opportunities for everyone to prosper. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I want to thank all of those who made this morning's event possible. Staff members from ComEd, the Illinois Governor's Office, Reactivate, our gracious landowners, the Verdine family, and our partners here on site, Pepper Construction. We are proud that Verdine is planned to be placed in service by the end of this month. I now invite our esteemed guest speakers to join Governor Pritzker over to the right as he flips the ceremonial switch. Please join us afterwards for photo ops on the observation deck.
Ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, ready? 3,
2, 1. Thank you, everyone. We will now safely make our way over to the observation deck right behind us for photo ops, and then afterwards, Governor Pritzker will be available for Q&A. Thank you so much.
How are you, sir?
It was a little lower, and we thought it was lower likelihood height, so I asked them to raise it.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess I've got a couple inches on it, but yeah.
Governor, first thing we want to ask you about is Brighton Park. I think Dan and I have a couple of questions, but in hindsight with Brighton Park, was it a mistake for Chicago to move forward with that site, knowing its history of contamination?
I think it had to be moved forward on. At the earliest days, just trying to figure out where are you going to put 2,000 people, how are you going to decompress from other places. So it was, one of the lead sites. Again, something the city needed to scout out, and they've looked at a bunch of locations. They have a list of locations. This was one of them. I would just say that, the end result is it couldn't be prepared in a way that would be environmentally, acceptable for folks to be there, and so we had to move on.
Will any other site have to get Illinois EPA approval before it can move forward?
Again, it a little bit depends upon the type of site that you're talking about, but when you're talking about an open air site, you've got to look at what the history of the site is and so on. So I'd say, a review will take place if there are open air sites that we're looking at. And indeed there is, as you know, another open air site that's been looked at. Easier, I think you saw, it's easier to look at a site that's got a hard top on it than one that is just dirt. And so I just make that recommendation. I'm not an environmental expert, and we do rely upon the IEPA, and the city relied upon an outside vendor.
But knowing that there were environmental concerns, why did the state give the go-ahead to start construction on the site without knowing a firm backup plan, having a clear plan B if things didn't work out properly at that site?
Well, first of all, we didn't know enough until you had the full report in hand. Because just making some speculation about it, I don't think would be a fair way to make an outcome, given all that we've got in front of us to work on. So I just think this is a decision that ultimately we've been working together with the city for quite some time. We literally have people working day in and day out in the same room, talking to one another. And we're going to continue to do that. We have to solve these problems to make sure that we're keeping the migrants safe.
A couple questions about Gardner. Dan and I both want to know, what are you going to do with this contract, with the money that's already been spent? How do you recoup that, or what is the plan from there?
Well, Garda World's been very reasonable about talking. We know we're working with them on the CVS site already to make sure that that's prepared to become a city shelter. There are other places that we've looked at, again, together with the city to make sure that we're working on it together with Garda World. And I believe that, there are ongoing discussions. I know there are ongoing discussions about, spreading any costs that were occurring at the Brighton Park site to other locations where we're building out spaces. And I just add, by the way, that we're also working with the Archdiocese on sites. They, for some time, have had ideas about where they might be able to be helpful, and I think they've accelerated that effort.
It's been 3 weeks since you announced the state was going to step in and pay for these base camps. It's very cold out today. There's still no base camp set up. We're set a week away from the mid-December target that you guys have discussed. Is this an indication that the state should have stepped into this process sooner and moved it along faster so that...
I want to be clear that we have been working with the city for quite some time now to provide the wraparound services. And it was only as we were approaching the cold weather that it became clear that we needed to provide resources to accelerate the effort. And that's what we did. Again, this is still, the division of labor is clear, always has been, and that is that the city, locates the sites that they think are appropriate, and we have stepped in, as you know, hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, we're over $500 million of expenditure to support the migrants, the asylum seekers. But the shelter portion of it has been the city's responsibility. We are assisting with that, and again, working specifically on a large scale site like was proposed at Brighton Park and maybe in some other location, but whatever it takes, whether it's Archdiocese site or others, we want to be helpful, and we've allocated some resources for that.
Given the fact that the state has had to step in and cancel work on the Brighton Park side, had to step in and make sure that there was a plan for providing food for folks throughout this month through the end of the year, how confident are you in the mayor's ability to lead through this crisis and the job that he's doing?
This is hard work, and it has been since before this mayor took office, and a lot was left for him when he took office to work on, and again, we worked with the last mayor on it. We continue to work with this one. I just don't want you to portray this as if there's some work that's being done separate from one another. We're trying very hard to be of assistance the entire time. We're going to be there all along. This is a challenge for the state of Illinois. The city of Chicago is our largest city. We want to be partners in this endeavor.
But he seemed to blame your administration for he made a remark about the CVS shelter taking 6 months to come online. I mean, do you take offense to that, or do you think that's helpful to this conversation?
I think you guys like to stoke that conversation of differences. The fact is that we want to work together, and our staffs have been working together for literally, I think it's a year plus now, and with this mayor, 7 months, to try to solve some of the problems that are ahead. This is not about, did somebody do something that the other party didn't like? This is about just move ahead, work through the problems, get the job done. Whether it's a challenge with procurement at the city, with the food contract, working that through, trying to find resources. I want to commend the Greater Chicago Food Depository, who stepped up with $2 million of private philanthropy and resources to help us, get through this time. We just want to get the problem solved. And I know that the press is trying to find differences. The truth is that there's always a challenge in an emergency and an urgent crisis. And you just have to keep moving forward and solving problems.
So there's not a whole lot of tension between you and the mayor over the execution of this?
I have a good relationship with the mayor. I have since day one. And from our earliest meetings to today, we continue to communicate with one another. And, things don't always work perfectly, but the fact is that we have communication together. They're friendly communications. We sometimes recognize that we have a difference of opinion, and we work it through.
Can you explain with the Archdiocese why sites that they have available haven't been incorporated into the city shelter system sooner? Do you know any of the background there? Or what
I don't. I know that the Archdiocese has offered up sites. I know that the city has, again, division of labor here, right? So the city has looked at some of those sites. Some have been, potentially appropriate. And as the mayor said the other day, I think in a press conference, they have been thinking through what is it that comes next. Because, again, we're at the table listening to, how they're thinking about shelters, and then we're trying to figure out how can we serve the people who will live in those shelters, even if temporarily. So I don't know the details of the communication between the Archdiocese and the city, but I know that the Archdiocese, just like the Greater Chicago Food Depository, has been attempting to be a great partner for the people of Chicago.
One of the partners that you work with is New Life Centers, and they do a lot of the relocations, getting the migrants out of the shelters into rental facilities. I believe the state is funding them.
It. Yeah.
They were telling me the other day that they are speeding up, ramping up their efforts from 125 a week to like 275 people a week moving out. Can you speak to the importance of this and what is the state's role in helping this?
I appreciate your asking that, because from the beginning of our effort to provide more resources just a few weeks ago, a press conference that I had, what we've been doing, and for weeks before that, what we've been doing is trying to work through the bottlenecks in the system. You've heard me say this before, but we've done a really good data-driven analysis of what's happening with the asylum seekers when they arrive and at each point along the way. And now that we have work authorizations in the works, where does that come in, and how do we solve for getting people by February fully through that system and up and working? So this issue that you're talking about, that is, New Life is doing great work at one point in these bottlenecks where we need to move people out of temporary housing and into a more permanent situation, partly because you've got other people coming in, unfortunately, again, driven by, politicians on the border who are trying to cause problems here. But we can't stop buses. We're not going to stop people from moving around the United States who are legal in the United States and are documented, and they are documented. And so it's our responsibility to care for them and move them through that system, get them into a job and into some more permanent situation. Thank you very much.